Good evening and welcome to tonight's news bulletin, coming to you live from this news center of the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The state and Shura councils agree on the controversial articles regarding the laws of protection of bank deposits, regulating trade in wildlife and media. Next Sunday is announced as an official leave for the public and private sectors on the occasion of the Prophet's Hijrah anniversary and the advent of the new Hijri year. And the Ministry of Heritage and Tourism signs a Yusuf-Krat agreement to develop Majlis Jinn Cave in the Wilaya of Quriyat and the Governorate of Muscat. Good evening and thank you for joining us. Those were the headlines and now the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq received a cabal of thanks from His Majesty King Abdullah II Ibn al-Hussein, King of the Hashemite Kingdom of Jordan, in the reply of His Majesty's greetings cabal on the occasion of his accession to the throne anniversary. Sunday, 7th July 2024 has been announced as an official leave for employees of the public and private sectors on the occasion of the Holy Prophet's Hijrah anniversary and the advent of the new Hijri year 1446. The Minister of Labour pointed out that employers may agree on terms to engage employees on the said leave if necessary due to the nature of their work, provided they compensate the workers for the leave. The state and the Shura councils agreed during a joint session on the controversial articles of the draft laws referred by the government regarding the protection of bank deposits law, the regulating trade in wildlife law, and the media law in preparation for submitting them to His Majesty the Sultan. The joint session of the first round of the 8th term of the Council of Oman was held under the chairmanship of His Excellency Sheikh Abdul Malik bin Abdullah Al Khalili, Chairman of the State Council and Chairman of the joint session, and in the presence of His Excellency Khalid bin Hilal Al Ma'wali, Chairman of the Shura Council. The session's agenda included the reports of the joint committees on the 3 draft laws in accordance with the rules and procedures for holding joint sessions. The Council of Ministers' response to a briefing request submitting regarding some airports in the Sultanate of Oman was among the most prominent topics reviewed by the Shura Council Office at its meeting. The Shura Council Office also discussed a response to the briefing request submitted on the National Urban Development Strategy for 2040, a project to develop the Unified National Proportional Identity Plan for the Sultanate of Oman, and the reality of biomedical technology in the Sultanate of Oman and ways to develop it were also discussed. The meeting was chaired by His Excellency Khalid bin Hilal Al Ma'wali, Chairman of the Council. The Minister of Heritage and Tourism signed today a Yusuf-Krat agreement with Umran Group to develop Majlis Jinn Cave in the Wilaya of Quriyat, the Governorate of Muscat. The agreement entails that the Umran Group will undertake the operational aspects and work to develop a sustainable long-term plan to activate the site. In its first phase, the contract includes activating and organizing adventure programs in Majlis Jinn Cave, while in the second phase, an information center, a reception center, and environmental lodges will be established. The Yusuf-Krat agreement was signed by His Excellency Salim bin Mohammed Al Mahrouqi, Minister of Heritage and Tourism. The Sultan Qaboos Academy for Police Sciences received a new batch of male and female citizens who hold a general education diploma to join the Royal Oman Police. The recruits will undergo a number of educational programs, military training, legal studies, and physical exercises that will enable them to perform their national duties. The new recruits expressed their joy for being admitted to the academy to complete their training and join the police force afterwards. This comes within the efforts of the Royal Oman Police to employ national cadres and provide the best police services to the public. International news. A number of Palestinians were killed and injured as a result of the continued artillery shelling by the Israeli occupation on Gaza Strip. The occupation forces bombed a building in the Al-Shakush area northwest of Rafah and the Al-Shujai'a, the Sabra and neighborhoods east of Gaza City. In the occupied West Bank, 2 Palestinians were killed by Israeli occupation forces bullets in the city of Tulkarem. A campaign of raids was also carried out. At least 16 Palestinians were arrested, including a woman and a former hostages. The Ukrainian military said today it had repelled Russian attacks near 2 villages in the eastern Donetsk region, a day after Russian forces claimed control of them. The military said the eastern Pokrovsk front remained the site of the fiercest fighting, with 42 assaults repelled out of a total of 142 battles over the past day. The military said Russia maintained a military presence across the border from Ukraine's northern Chernihiv and Sumy regions, adding that Moscow's forces were increasing the density of many fields of the area and also conducting sabotage activities. The far-right National Rally Party emerged ahead in the first round of France's parliamentary elections with around 33% of the vote. That was ahead of the leftist and centrist rivals, including President Emmanuel Macron's Together alliance, whose bloc was seen winning 22%. The New Popular Front, a hastily assembled left-wing coalition, was projected to win around 28.5% of the vote. A week of political bargaining now lies ahead of the July 7th runoff. The final result will depend on how parties decide to join forces in each of France's 577 constituencies for the second round. In the past, France's center-right and center-left parties have teamed up to keep the National Rally from taking power, but that dynamic, called the Republican Front in France, is less certain than ever. Residents in the Eastern Caribbean prepared for the arrival of the Category 4 storm Hurricane Barely as it barreled across the Atlantic Ocean yesterday afternoon towards the Caribbean's windward islands. The hurricane is expected to bring 3 to 6 inches of rain across Barbados and the windward islands throughout the day, which authorities warned could cause flash flooding in vulnerable areas. Hurricane warnings have been issued in Barbados, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, and the Grenadine Islands, Grenada and Tobago. A tropical storm watch has been issued for Dominica, Trinidad, and parts of the Dominican Republic and Haiti. You're watching the Sultanate of Oman television, and later to come in our news bulletin, the Sultanate of Oman obtains the first scientific documentation from NASA for observing the aurora borealis phenomenon. Once again, welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. The Minister of Education, in partnership with various companies in the oil and gas industries, held the Work Experience Program 2024. This program aims to offer students from concessions areas practical exposure to engineering and technical roles in these sectors. More details coming up in this report.
The Work Experience Program is an initiative aimed at providing students with a valuable opportunity to acquire hands-on knowledge and skills in the oil and gas industries. This program enables students to familiarize themselves with the engineering and technical roles within these sectors, thus helping them make well-informed decisions regarding their future academic pursuits.
I have joined work experience program in Fahud. During this program, I have learned about the jobs in the oil and gas field. Also, I have visited the first oil well, which called Lucky Oil Well Food One.
16 students hailing from Al-Dakhiliya, Al-Zahira, Al-Wusta and the Dhofar governorates took part in an intensive 5-day training program called Work Experience. These students were exposed to various roles throughout the sessions, including administrative, engineering, logistical, and technical positions. They gained insights into fuel and gas production methods and also received comprehensive safety procedure training. This hands-on approach gave them a real-world understanding of the industry and its requirements.
With full of passion and excitement, I have joined work experience program. I have learned many things about the oil and gas field. Also, I have met different staff. They have given me a brief about their role and responsibilities. This program will help me to decide what kind of job might be my future career.
The Work Experience program aims to foster positive attitudes among students, helping them effectively employ their personal and practical skills. The program ensures a smoother transition into the job market by preparing them for academic phase and beyond. This initiative not only supports individual career planning, but also contributes to a skilled workforce ready to meet the needs of the oil and gas industry. For the Sultanate of Oman Television, Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi.
The Vocational College in Al-Buraimi Governorate won the first 3 places in the architectural creativity competition at the level of vocational colleges in the Sultanate of Oman. The winning project showed the innovative designs of a public library, a post office and a motel. The competition aimed to enhance creativity and encourage innovation in the field of architectural drawing and interior design through the graduation projects of students of vocational colleges. Now, with this story, the Omani Astronomical Society obtained the first scientific documentation from NASA for observing the phenomenon of the aurora borealis in the skies of the Sultanate of Oman. This came when a team of astrophotographers from the Omani Astronomical Society observed relatively mysterious colored lights on the night of May 12th, when a strong solar storm hit the Earth, causing the appearance of the aurora borealis. The team took the pictures in Jabal al-Sarai in the Al-Hajar al-Gharbi Starlight Nature Reserve and later contacted specialists from NASA who verified the cameras that were used, the geographic location that appears in the pictures, the coordinates of the place and the timing of the capture. The conclusion was that what was observed in the skies of the Sultanate of Oman is strongly likely to be the phenomenon of the aurora borealis, and research and discussions are still ongoing to definitely confirm the documentation of the phenomenon. And the Civil Defense and Ambulance Authority CDAA confirmed its readiness to provide services to citizens, residents and visitors of the Dhofar Governorate during the Kharif season 2024. The CDAA said that it had approved its operational plans for the Dhofar Kharif seasons for 2024, which included strengthening its current centers and deployment on the roads leading to the Dhofar Governorate in Al-Dakhiliya, Al-Zahira and Al-Wusta Governorates to deal with reports received by the Operation Civil Defense and Ambulance Centers in the Governorate. The authority's civil protection efforts will also be doubled by inspecting facilities, monitoring violations, and taking appropriate measures in this regard. The authority calls on visitors to follow safety guidelines while visiting the Governorate, prepare well for the trip, maintain the vehicle, prepare a first aid kit, ensure that the fire extinguisher is in good condition, identify the location of rest stops and vehicle fueling stations on the trip route, choose the appropriate time to move and stop for a rest in case of feeling tired and exhausted, and adhere to safety rules. This is the Sultanate of Oman television, and before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The State and the Shura Councils agreed on the controversial articles regarding the laws of the protection of bank deposits, regulating trade in wildlife and media. Next Sunday is announced as an official leave for the public and private sectors on the occasion of the Prophet's Hijrah anniversary and the advent of the new Hijri year. The Minister of Heritage and Tourism signs a Yusuf Krat agreement to develop Majlis Jinn Cave in the Wilayah of Quriyat, the Governorate of Muscat. And with that, we do conclude this news bulletin brought to you live from this news center of the Sultanate of Oman television, directed by Hilal Al-Shandudi and, of course, read by me, Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubi'a. From the entire news team here in the studio, we thank you for joining us. Wish you a pleasant evening and good night.